It's your favorite time of the week. It's a Wednesday, and welcome to the Childish Grownups show. We're here. This is a nostalgic podcast. For those that are new, this is the setup of how the show works. It's similar to your movie theater experience back in the day. You will go in, you will play games, you will watch previews, and then you get into your feature presentation. We like to model ourselves quite similar to our experience going to the movie theaters, where we like to get into a few things in the nostalgic space before we get into our movie review. So that's the layout of our show, the Childish Grown Up Show. I am one of the hosts, Maurice Hunt III. Some know me as Mo. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Mia G and Ash Bash. Ladies, how y'all doing?
Doing great.
I'm doing good. Doing wonderful, actually.
Hmm.
Good weekend, starting off good this week. Can't complain.
Good. Good. Other than our typical complaints, but
My son's spring break is over.
yeah. And plus you don't work from home, so it's been a whole different kind of been a different scramble this year.
Man, listen.
You like everybody else now, huh?
First of all, not everybody.
Not everybody.
We live in a new world, Mo.
Yeah, you had your village. Your village came through. The village came through on this.
Yeah.
Good,
I'm gonna eat
good.
them again when my daughter's spring break comes around. So
Yeah, good, good, good.
How that goes.
Oh man, Ash, definitely. Yours is different this year too, wasn't it? Oh well, actually, no, it landed right in the right time because it would have been a different kind of. Yeah. All right. Well, y'all know for those that work from home, y'all know it's different when you don't work from home anymore. You got to have somebody watch your kids. It's a totally, totally different.
luckily, it was cool. His dad got to stay home with them most of. So
good. All right, there we go. Come on, village. But we normally acknowledge the Stoop kids, but there's no comments this week from our last episode of Harriet the Spy. But what a banger it was! I think that those are some of my favorite episodes and favorite moments when we wholeheartedly disagree and genuinely stand on where we're coming from. That is my favorite style of podcasting, and we were able to get to that place last week. Me and Mia G, Ash serving as the mediator somewhere in the middle. So what a wonderful moment that was. So hopefully we'll get some acknowledge some Stoop kids after this episode. Definitely a classic. But if y'all want to reach out, childishgrownups3 at gmail.com, or reach out to us on Instagram, Childish Grownups Podcast. We'll answer your DMs. We'll even be open to suggestions for films. So reach out. We're very capable to be reached, and we are very open to communicating back to the Stoop kids. Childish grown-up moments. I'm going to throw it in your court this week first, Mia G.
Oh, okay. So what I can say, Saturday, I took my daughter to see Snow White
The
in
live one.
movie theater. Yeah, the new live action Snow White. She got me for about $50 worth of movie theater food. And
On top of the ticket.
so luckily the tickets weren't that bad. It was a matinee situation at a theater at which I am a member. And so the food was, she got me for the milkshake and the soda and chicken. You listen. And then after the movie, she wanted boba. So I went and got her boba.
I love boba. I love boba.
We had it was like a normal little girls' day. We have our mommy daughter time. And we always just feel like, bestie girl, hey girl.
Mia, you are such an interesting person. You are so interesting, bro.
What?
Anyway,
What
keep
is
going.
y'all boba's?
What'd you say, Ash?
What's your boba flavors? What's your go-to?
So I just got the honey milk tea with the boba, and Jovi got she actually didn't get tea. She got like strawberry lemonade with the strawberry little popping boba.
Yeah. Okay. I like taro. It's my flavor.
I wanted to get their specialties like kung fu boba tea, but I just switch it up a little bit.
Okay. So that was Childish Grownups. So it was like, was you like humming to yourself while you was having your sip? Like, we get happy as a kid and enjoy the drink. We like,
You know what? Listen, but it was really the movie, like in there with me, and because my daughter is very much like me. So when the previews come on and we see something, we're like,
yeah.
We were looking at each other, clapping, like, can't wait to see that. But the movie was trash.
Oh, motto.
She liked it though. She liked it.
Okay.
So that's all that matters. And she doesn't know that I didn't like it because I had to tell her, oh, yes, it was great. But they could have left Snow White where she was.
Everything don't lead to live action. Like, leave it where it is, man.
I never really cared for that movie anyway. Like as a kid, that was just never one for me. Like Snow
Really?
White. Yeah, I didn't really like it too much.
I liked it, and there were moments in the live action that were good, but too many new unnecessary songs, too much.
Oh, they hit you with the new songs?
Yeah, a lot of them, and it was like a little goofy. Like, I don't know. They changed the prince. He wasn't a prince no more. It was just a lot. Like,
it's revisionist history. Yeah, I gotta stop disrespecting our air.
that's what I'm saying.
Stop doing this. Like, y'all trying to rewrite Mufasa. Like, y'all keep doing this. Like, stop, y'all. Please leave us alone. But okay, all right. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you're keeping up, and that's the perfect movie to actually have a childish grown up moment, because we do need to have our ear to the streets as people's go-to nostalgic podcast / film review podcast. We need somebody out there. So, and who better than Mia G, the what do you call yourself? The horror girl. What'd you say?
I am a cinephile.
Cinephile. Okay, yeah. Our cinephile. AshBash, childish grown up moment of the week.
Yeah. So coming off of the punked high, still in that bag. Me and the hubby, we was talking about some more shows like Hell Date, The Fifth Wheel, Blind Date, Next, Parental Control. All those
Boiling
shows.
Point.
Hey man, all that. And so I watched the episode of The Fifth Wheel, man. Do y'all remember that?
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Listen,
absolutely.
First of all, it was very inappropriate. I was probably sneak watching it because this was inappropriate.
Yes.
Like,
yes,
these are grown adults trying to like get busy, get
yes.
And I was just like, this was my show though. Like, that's how I know. Like, just as a young girl, I always, me, bro. I was always just watching
no cartoons, sir.
No cartoons, more mature. That's the type of stuff that I like. So yeah, I was like, what? So I put it up on YouTube. That's how I saw it, and it was funny. Like, it looked so like nostalgic. It was 2000s. Just very old school. It had the chick that was the host, Aisha Tyler, I think that was her name, the black chick that used to host it. And they had the commentary with the bubbles and all that. Like, it just took me all the way back, and I was just like, man, this was the time. This was a great time. Like I said, it was so inappropriate, and I loved it.
Oh yeah. Ash, real sidebar. You remember when we were watching Flavor of Love?
Absolutely.
And look! It just, the rush of nostalgia just hit Mia's face. Y'all on YouTube, y'all got to see her face when that happened. Ash, you remember we sat in the living room as a family because we were watching this like it was the Super Bowl. Like, you remember this? And we're trying to see who Flav is going to pick. Is going to be Hoops or New York? Yep. Remember, like, we were really rooting, like, man, he got to pick. Like, it's crazy work. Like, none of this is real, dude. None of it. And we're, like, really invested because reality TV had warped our mind at a time where we didn't have social media. So, I don't know. You just brought something back. But would you go back and watch another episode?
Would.
Okay.
Because it's entertainment. At the end of the day, we watch something. But they were really kissing Flav. That is what was real, and you couldn't pay me enough. I'm sorry.
Crispy crackling.
Respectfully, but no.
Oh,
I'm leaving it there. I'm leaving it there. I ain't saying the last part. I just
yes.
I'm leaving it there. I wouldn't shut your mouth. Oh yeah, that was wow. Hey, shout out to the ladies, man, trying to really get their face out there, man.
I'm gonna leave it right there because while that was wonderful television, they don't make them like that no more.
Oh no.
But gave birth to some of my favorite reality TV personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Pollard, New York.
Oh yeah. She spun off, and then the Real and Chance, rest in peace, Real, had a spinoff after that, and yeah, man, those are some good times, man. That was really some good times.
Oh, that was the peak of reality TV.
It was, and it just, for me being a teenage boy, just seeing those very attractive women at that time, it was great television. It really was.
All right.
but I was glad they had New York, so they had the male candy for the ladies, so that was dope. And she definitely was a star. I mean, when she came back being the biggest hater that second season, remember?
And I loved her. Oh,
remember she was like, oh, go ahead, Ash.
But I do feel like Flav played her. Like, you brought me back. Like, she's like, really playing my face? Like, it was really like, come on, bro.
That was so good because we bought in. This is like wrestling. It's like WWE, bro. Like, we bought into it. That stuff works.
She really liked him. Like, I think she was really into him.
I think she was really willing. I don't know if she really liked him, but I think in reality, she was really willing. It sounded like a great TGIF talking like some reality television, 2000s, 90s, trashy, Real World, Fear Factor.
Real World was my stuff.
Punked. This sounds like a good.
Real World.
We might be cooking up something here, y'all. I don't know, y'all. Maybe we get in our chat and see if we can figure out something. Because I think Ash, you might be on something. For me, my childish grown up moment was most parents are familiar with the show Bubble Guppies, and so I believe that's Bubble Guppies that I was watching. But they got a song on there that they sing. What time is it? It's time for lunch. What time is it? It's time for lunch. Now, again, this is an animated cartoon show for like toddlers, young baby, young kids. But I'm vibing with it. Like, what time is it? It's time for lunch. But then it made me think like, yo, remember the thought of it's time for lunch? Like, bruh, you remember you could be the hungriest. You could be the sleepiest. You could be having a bad day, whatever it is. It seemed like when you get to lunch, that if you like, man, if I can just get to lunch, bruh, I can make it. Then now you're looking at, okay, I got 3 classes, and one of my classes is art. So lunch meant so much to us at school. You might kick it with your clique. You might actually get some good food that day. You might got some change in your pocket to get some little extra desserts to go to the spirit shop. Like lunch was the spot, and that hit me. Like, you might go to the vending machine. That's a flex. Matter of fact, you might have a homie with you like, hey, bro, I got a couple more quarters. You want what you want? Like, I got money. You know what I mean? I got extra quarters. Get you that Snickers, bro. Get you that Rolo. So hearing that just made me think about lunch period. I said, yo, lunch would save your life, dude. I could be dozing second period. I got third period, and I happen to have one of the earlier lunch blocks. And it saved my life, bro. I was like, I ain't gonna make it through the day. I ain't go to bed like I should have. I'm sleepy. I didn't sleep on the bus. Lunchtime, I'm good to go. We got second half. It's just like halftime show for football. Like, so good old lunch days, y'all. That's
being back in the office, I feel like the same way as I did.
It's still like that though.
Is it lunch time?
Like, yeah. Because when we going to lunch, like, for real.
No cap. It still worked that way. It's not the same as far as the innocence of it, but it still serves. Like, hey, that 30 minutes is powerful. That's why people be in their cars for real. Like, it's like, hey, let me isolate away from y'all.
You go to work to get to your desk to look up what you might want to get for lunch.
Okay.
That's a big fact. I'm getting excited about lunch 2 hours away.
Man, at 8 a.m. thinking about, so what we eating today?
Oh, absolutely, man. I can do. I got money in my account today. I'm good. You know, everybody's good. I can really splurge today. I might go up a little bit on the. Yeah, still.
I don't care what the workload is. I'm thinking about lunch.
Hey man, lunch is special, y'all. Man, y'all gotta write us in. Tell me about some of y'all fondest lunch memories. People used to fight at lunch. Like you knew it was going down. They would make it through the headways, through the hallways. Like such and such gonna be fighting. Some people you would end up in the wrong lunch, bro. You might mess around, skip the back half of your class, and end up in the wrong lunch because you try to find out if Tariq and Jason are gonna be fighting like you heard in the hallways.
Girls on top of the lunch table trying to get to
for real.
the other chair.
Like, bruh. Yeah, man, lunch was everything, dog. That's so. Shout out to Bubble Guppies, man. That brought me back. What time is it? It's time for lunch. Oh man. All right. Well, go ahead and give it to him, Ash.
Okay, so it's time for the Flash with Ash. So I have one question for y'all, and then some this or that, and this is TV Family Edition on the this or that, and it's really more so like just their family dynamic, like who you rock, where could you see yourself necessarily? All right. So this question comes from the show The Game. What was the artist's name and the name of the song that was playing when Melanie found out Duran cheated on her when she walked in on his conversation with Dion?
I know her name. I don't know the song.
Oh my goodness.
You know the name. You gotta know the song.
I don't remember the song, like, because it's on the generic, her name was Drew Sidor.
No, I'm saying, what was the name of the song that was playing in the background when she walked around that corner? When she heard her.
I don't not know the name.
Oh my goodness, because I'm seeing the scene play out. Can't think of the song.
Let's go. That's one of Mia's favorite shows right there.
This is, I'm not going to give no hints because Mia's going to be like, I can't believe I didn't know that word.
Yeah, I go back to our TV sitcom couples episode, see how Mia really feel about that show. But I do not know the name. I Want Your Man or something like, it was some sensual stuff. Derwin was in the video with her. He was, all in the videos. But I do not know.
Whoa. Bro.
Oh, I'm wrong? My bad.
Remember when Melody, when she found out he was cheating, she went to the premiere and he had that stupid hat on, cocked to the side, and he had a conversation with Dion.
He thought he was fly too.
Thought he was killing it.
Yeah.
Had the convo with Dion. Remember, he was being all like snobby to her, like too good for her. Like, hey, I'm gonna go with someone else. And he was in the room. Obviously, her sorority sister was Drew's stylist. So then Melody walked around the corner. I guess everybody knew but me.
I remember it so well, but I can't think of the song.
You can ask me some million times.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, I can see the scene.
I remember the scene, but I don't. The song, like it ain't.
Bro, all in the music video.
Yeah, like.
First time I remember the scene that he's talking about. All right, it was Beyonce to the left.
Duh.
Nah, I don't remember.
He walked around, and then it came on.
Duh. Oh my goodness.
I definitely remember that. Okay, that's a deep cut.
Yeah, man, deep cut.
Hey, sidebar. That Lil Wayne, Comfortable, that's the male response to Beyonce. I'll just put that out there.
I don't remember how it go.
That song with Babyface. I don't saying this to break you up. I'm just saying this to make it up. It's no good bro. It's on the Carter 3, and he's like, "Don't you ever get to the left." When Wayne was doing his thing. Yeah,
I remember that.
That's like the male response, low key. Nobody ever talks about that, but
I get but no.
Don't do us like that. Come on, go back and listen to that. He was giving it up though. We needed that. Look, all right, y'all got it. Y'all would have y'all forever putting us to the left, right? All right.
We love y'all though.
Uh-huh.
So let's get into this or that TV Family Edition. All right. So are we going? And again, I don't remember this comparison. I don't remember their name, like their last name. Parenthood or In the House with LL Cool J?
Oh, I definitely.
Which family we rolling with?
In the House is a little bit different. I prefer the show In the House because LL was just at this point he was so cool in my mind. This one he was really still rocking the pants leg up, rocking the caps. Like he was so cool by this point. Like his name was Marion in the show, and you know we got the Wayne sister in there. We got Carlton in there. Show is super solid. If y'all ain't went back, but Family Edition, I got to give it up to Robert Townsend. That family, as corny as it was, it's the dream sequences that make that show so corny. Robert Townsend just comes off. He's brilliant and very creative, but he don't have that black cool. You know what I mean? I hate to say it like that, but he don't. It just his cool don't. But he was a good father, and the mother was a great mother, and I love how they love their kids. And you remember the little brother, the youngest brother, the little chubby one, Ash?
Yeah, I
remember how I used to thought he kind of reminded me of Juwan? Yeah. Our cousin. Yeah, got the whole look. So I'm gonna go Parenthood as much as I like In the House better, but
I have to go with In the House. I didn't watch Parenthood all like that. I do love me some Robert Townsend, but I really watched In the House. Okay. And my mom would kill me if I
of course, the LL, right?
LL anyway.
Yeah, right.
Because come on now. But I like the family was unconventional. Wasn't he the uncle? He was the uncle. The young lady, tragic story, but the young lady, like the beautiful chocolate lady, it hurts my feelings. That girl.
Oh yeah. She had a bright future.
What was her name?
I'll look up the cast. Yeah.
She was on Iyanla Vanzant, Fix My Life. She was on the episode of that. And when she was doing better in the
she played Maya Campbell on the show. Her name was Tiffany Warren.
Her name is Maya Campbell. That's her real name.
Oh, other way around. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, and I remember her from the movie Foolish that I really liked.
Yeah, she was.
I just really like her. She was that girl.
Yeah, man. Goodness gracious. What you got, Ash? Which one are you going with?
Go with In the House. Just because it was a little more funky, like Mia said, just a little more unconventional, kind of chaotic at times. But, we all have a family that can get like that. And again, shout out to Robert Townsend. Love him also. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with a well-structured home either. You know what I mean? But I go In the House on it.
Yeah, and Wendell was really funny. Wendell was funny, and then I mean, come on, how can we get the beautiful, talented Zaria? Like, I thought she was gonna be out of here. Like I did. Like when I seen her on Love No Cost a Thing, I thought she was. Remember that movie she was in? She was like playing as a drug addict. Bro, I thought she really was a drug addict. Like I don't remember what movie it was, Ash. It probably was a straight to DVD joint, but whatever it was, she played in. And I thought she was for real. Like we're a teenager, but anyway, I don't want to prolong that. But anyway, go ahead.
All right. So next family we're going with the Banks or the Winslows. Mia look like she got her mind made up.
It's kind of easy because nobody tops this guy. The guy that's driving this whole thing. But go ahead, Mia, what you got?
First things first. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil. Okay. Listen, I gotta go with the Banks. Like that family is iconic. Like shout out to the Winslows. Wonderful stuff. Great things. However, iconic family. Uncle Phil, Aunt Viv, both dark skin, light skin.
Yeah, both.
Aunt Viv, Hillary, Carlton, Ashley, the whole, even Jeffrey, the butler. I think, that family was so iconic that they got a second show decades later.
A reimagined version of it. And what you got, Ash?
Yeah, I got to go with the Banks. I mean, I thought that was a good little matchup. So I was like, shout out to the Winslows. Carl was a hard-working father.
Yeah, for sure. Police officer. Yeah.
Shout out to him, Eddie and Laura.
And the daughter that just disappeared.
But yeah, the Banks, man, iconic. I mean, and it had, I don't know, like, because I feel like Eddie and Laura, that they interacted with each other, but it wasn't like heavily. And I think about
it
the
wasn't tight
sibling
knit
aspect to it. You know what I mean? Like I think about Us, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, I gotta go with the Banks, man.
Yeah, no, like
That sibling cousin dynamic.
Yeah.
Everything.
It was amazing. Like it was just an amazing show. Like even people that are not Black, this show it resonates with so many people, you know, because it's like you really identify with a family like this and you understand they handled things much better than a lot, not just Black sitcoms, but sitcoms in general. They handled issues a lot better and a lot more nuanced than anything. And I mean, Uncle Phil is the driving force for. I know we looked at that clip recently. You know, it obviously they had a reunion. I think probably a few years ago now. Now we look back, somewhere after the pandemic, maybe, but. The Uncle Phil, that driving force, of course, is like, why don't he want me scene or the Will scene in the hospital? Give me the gun. Like that whole thing with Carlton. Like the show has so much more heart than Family Matters. Yeah. Nobody can compete now. Family Matters, of course, it had heart as well, but the silliness bypassed so much of the heart in Family Matters. You know, the heart was there. They'll get the jazz music and everything, and they get the, you know, saxophone, they'll sell it, but it was so much more organic and authentic to our real experience when it came to the Banks. So absolutely, we trips here. It's the Banks family.
Okay. All right. Are we going with the Evans, Florida, and James, or the Huxtables?
This is out of our era too. Yeah, this is out of our era too.
Tougher for me because
I didn't watch either of them like that. So
the Huxtables, like the Bill Cosby show, is probably closer to my time, even though it's still way ahead of our time. I think I watched Good Times more. Like when TV Land, you know, when you you can watch all the old shows. I think like actually was like watching Good Times. So I'm gonna have to go with the Evans.
This is hard because I didn't watch either one of them that much. I've watched episodes, plural, of both. I got enough to see both dynamics. Two different statuses, it makes it challenging because I think the couples are what the driving force when we talk about which choice for me. I'm gonna go Good Times by Lance by like slightly, just because they was in the trenches, they was in the hood, they was in the struggle, but it's something to respect about the less fortunate situation from all cultures when you're living a certain way and they find joy and happiness and they're still laughing. You know, you're getting your dynamite, you're getting these moments, and it's I love to see. I have to actually I might go back just now because we're older. And so we're looking not at the kids so much as we're looking at the adults because we're adults. I may go back and watch it just to kind of get the nuance and the vibe of it, like how they navigated the struggle for real, you know. But yeah, I go to Evans. I mean, James Evans, he's a man's man. And not to say that Cliff Huxtable's not, because I like the fact that we don't always have to be this tough, rah-rah version. We can be a little bit more chill and still get our point across. So he's necessary. But that James Evans, he was down to get busy, even with the cul-de-sac hairline.
That landing strip, boy.
Cul-de-sac hairline is absolutely
gotta make a U-turn out here, boy.
That is stupid.
I know, I'm stupid. Like that's
Cut your microphone off.
Hey, gotta make a U-turn.
I'm cutting my mic off now. See, boom, here you go.
Hey man, gotta make the U-turn. But yeah, we go on trips. I gotta go to Evans as well. James was nothing to play with. Very strong father figure. Like I really love that because sometimes it's not shown like that. So I do like when the male's leading, sometimes because
She's stuck.
Yeah,
She's stuck. I'm sorry, Ash. I'm not trying to step on it. Go ahead.
Like our culture, just our culture, we know of Black strong women, Black strong mothers, and the fathers don't get enough credit for their part, especially the ones that stick around and really create an impact. And James, again, he just was nothing to play with.
Yeah.
But even though he was like the man of the house, he still respected Florida's opinion on things. So I don't feel like it was too far away. And shout out to the hospital, like you said, they were doing well.
Yeah.
Well, Cliff was a doctor, right?
He was
a doctor,
obstetrician, and I have to say, listen, because that was one thing that I love. So it was like an introduction to that field because when I was younger, I really wanted to be an obstetrician and still really interested in the whole field of birth work. But I remember I have one episode in my head where one of his patients was in labor and she was kind of silly. And he was trying to tell her, like, go to the hospital when your contractions are so many minutes apart. And she was just like, he ended up having like deliver her baby in a cab or something. But yeah, I thought that was really cool because you see doctors, general, oh, my dad's a doctor, but you don't get like specified fields a lot of the time. And I thought it was really cool that they made him an obstetrician.
Yeah.
And Claire was a lawyer.
Come on now. Yeah. We needed that too at that time. Yeah. No, mama. Penny off of Good Times, Big JJ looking boy. All right.
You had to get that off, huh?
Yeah, I was waiting. I had to lecture.
All right. I had one more, but I'm gonna leave it off.
Yeah. Well, what's wrong with it? Come on, man. We here now.
So the Parkers or the Campbells / Landrys. So sister, and them, or the Parkers.
We talking about family aspect.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it can be the friends involved too, just that whole, you know what I mean? Obviously,
the relationship dynamic of it.
You had Roger and, But I was trying to think, okay, like the women, you know what I mean?
I gotta.
Even though Ray was there.
I gotta go to Parkers. I love sister, but they're twins and they reconnected. Interestingly enough, but the Parkers, there's a lot of relationships there. Spinoff of Moesha, Niecy, and Monique, and all of it has a lot more talking points, a lot of more interest, a lot more that 2000s magic, that colorful look that I always talk about with sitcoms like Girlfriends, where you start to see that shift half and half. The color looks different, how they direct. I'm big into that. So Parker's fits under that, that come home in the afternoon. You might catch the Parkers before 106 in Park. You never know, whatever the schedule was. But yeah, the Parkers, to me, it's a lot more interesting relationships. Sister was great. They both had consistent boyfriends from high school to college and all that, and other interests. But I don't find the family dynamic as interesting because it's so divided between the father and the mother of the separate, twin. It never was interesting then, and it's still not interesting now to me versus the Parkers. So yeah.
Okay. Mia, what you got?
I actually have to go with the Campbell Landrys.
Oh.
Listen, I really love Sister, and I love the dynamic of how Ray was very straight-laced, but he had the wilder, more goofy daughter, and then Lisa was really wild and free-spirited, and then she had the really straight-laced daughter and how they played off of each other, found that balance within the home and how they all lived together with that weird family dynamic. And yeah, I just loved it. I thought it was a unique idea, you know? It wasn't something that had been done. I thought it was cool. Use these twins to make, to make it this weird, now we're all gonna live together because we have to like keep these twins together. And that was cool. Now, don't get me wrong, I love me some Nikki Parker. Iconic character. She was great. And I loved the Parkers, like as a show, I loved it. But when I think about my nostalgia and growing up and what I was really into, I loved Sister Sister. I loved Tia and Tamara's characters. I loved their whole dynamic.
Okay.
Y'all are crazy.
Ew, that's it.
I'm stupid. Yeah, I'm stupid. Like,
but I love it. I love it. This is tough for me too because I really love Sister Sister. Like the curls, the straight hair. Like I just love their whole transition into college, and just seeing the maturity and the growth there. But I like the Parkers too because that was a weird dynamic too. Like your mom's going to your college, and she was just, heavily involved in like your day to day. I mean, she still had her friends, but her mom was like always around. Um, but I think I'm gonna give it to the Parkers just with a slight edge. It did just seem a little more
hip,
vibrant. Like it just, like you said, maybe it's the colors. Like it just seemed kind of cool. Like
it felt current. Like it
they
felt.
had that place they went to.
Yeah, the little like
Andale's.
Was that it or
no? Okay, Andale's was from Moesha, but Andale worked at the place where
that's where it get murky for me. It's a place where people will perform, right? People will perform, but it was like a library, kind of like library cafe
or something. Like it's just some,
It's so interesting. It's like a place on campus. It seemed like it's like for me that I went to Vincennes. There's a place called BSU, and it was like all things happen there. There's a cafe element. There's counselors. It's all kind of different. It's a big building. I don't know what the equivalent is, but it feels like it's something like what you're saying. But it's like an all inclusive hangout spot. And then they was in a group too. And which was dope, what I mean? Them three, and then they got representation. Of course, they got a white friend, which I thought was dope. Like, man, I need to be a white friend up in this mix. You know what I mean?
Shout out to my friend Lauren. That's my girl.
Man, hey, man, I'm on the search for white friends right now, man. Put in your application.
I found it. It was called The Den.
I said The Den, I think, yeah. But I think it's always cool to have a little place to go and just pick it straight after school or whatever, you know what I mean?
And Dell did own The Den too.
I would say that's something I wish I would have wrote for my audio drama, because that is essential. Like you talking about The Den, having a central meetup location, like Friends, they would always meet at Central Perk or whatever. Seinfeld, they would always meet at
that diner.
That diner, Martin then would meet at Nipsey's. Power Rangers, they meet at that little juice spot. It's like those are so essential back in the day, having this meetup spot. It meant so much to us. And to this day, even though it's a set, I would love to go to many of those locations. Like if that ever becomes a post on Instagram, like an ad, like, hey, go see the set of these different set. I would be there so quick. I'm like, now this is where I spend my money. I don't want to see y'all rapping over speakers, but I would definitely pull up and go check out these sets. You know what I mean? So
yeah, so that's it for the Flash with Ash, y'all.
All right. Oh man, I love my co-hosts. Y'all are excellent. All right, well, y'all know what time it is. Me and G, without further ado, go on, pull that lever and take us back to a simpler time.
In a simpler time, it was. We are talking today about the 1999 film Big Daddy. A lazy law school graduate adopts a kid to impress his girlfriend, but everything doesn't go as planned. Cast: We have Adam Sandler as Sonny Koufax, Cole and Dylan Sprouse, a little bitty Cole and Dylan Sprouse, aka Zach and Cody, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
As Julian Frankenstein McGrath. We have Jon Stewart as Kevin Garrity, Joey Lauren Adams as Layla Maloney, Leslie Mann is Corinne Maloney, Josh Mostel is Arthur Brooks, or the child services guy, Christy Swanson as Vanessa, Joseph Baloney as Lenny Koufax, Alan Covert as Phil D'Amato, Peter Dante as Tommy Grayton, Rob Schneider as the delivery guy, and Jonathan Loughran as Mike. And this film was released June 25th, 1999.
A day before my birthday.
A day before Ash's birthday. Come on now. That's dope. You was what, 7 at the, well, you was about to be 7 the day after. You was be turning 7 at that time. And Mia, when did you say your birthday was?
September.
Okay, so yeah, so at this time, September, baby. I don't know why I thought you was. I don't know. I thought you was like July. I don't know why, but
what's the date?
I am a Virgo, September 16th.
9/16. Okay. That's funny. So at that time when the movie was released, Ash was about to be 7 the following day. I was 9 and Mia was 8. So yeah, y'all do the math. All right, so let's do a little bit of a rewind here. Ash, since we on top of the top here, how do you remember this film back then? Like in your memories before you picked this movie, obviously you didn't watch it before you picked the movie because we don't tend to watch the movie and say, oh, we're going to pick this movie. We go in our memory bank and go with what feels like the right fit at the time. So how do you remember this film in your earliest recollection of watching this back in the day?
I remember being excited for it. I think at this point, we were already invested with Adam Sandler because I think The Waterboy had came out before this, and Billy Madison, I think. So he had already been putting out work, and I just remember thinking he was hilarious. And just being an African American, it was nice to find, you think see someone else funny on the other side of things, and I just thought like obviously him and Jim Carrey like super hilarious, but so I remember being invested in him as an actor and his comedic style. So I already knew once I remember seeing the previews to this too and being excited for like, oh, okay, you got the little kid in it. Like I just like the way it looked. I do remember seeing the previews. And this time around watching it, I still felt the same. There were a few things that I didn't notice like watching it back then, but still got a good feel. I feel like I was laughing at the same parts that I laughed at back then. Like those were still funny to me. Just another staple in the household. So yeah.
Yeah. AG, how do you remember this back then versus this time?
I don't remember too much about how I felt about the movie at the time. I know that I liked it. I know I thought it was funny, but I don't remember watching it a whole bunch. I know that I've seen it a million times over the years and I've always loved it, but it wasn't necessarily like, I just, like Ash said, I remember Adam Sandler being on his run. I remember loving all of his movies, but kind of as an afterthought, never as like, ooh, Adam Sandler. It was like, I didn't appreciate him until I got a little bit older.
Okay. Why is that? Like, just real quick.
Oh, I really don't know. I think I was just into other things. I don't think I just paid it that much attention until I started, like, got older. He was putting out other work, and then I started watching his films.
Was there any, not to dig in you too much, but like, was there any other white comic or comedic actor that drew your attention more? Was it like Jim Carrey, or was it anybody else, or just literally I was just
I've always loved Jim Carrey. I think I wasn't necessarily like in a space where I just had like one that I was super fixated on at the time.
Okay.
I think I've gone through like phases over time where I would be fixated on, one or the other or whoever was popping at the time. I think for me, it was a lot of like, I got really into the, like this, by the time I was like really into any type of, what do you want to call it? Like cinematic universe like this, where you know how Adam Sandler has all of his friends in his movies, and you see it was more probably when Seth Rogen came on the scene and he was making movies, him and I think it's a lot of overlap
Yeah,
too.
it is.
So when he was making movies like Knocked Up and Super Bad and The 40-Year-Old Virgin, I think that's when I kind of came into my white comedy bag, my stoner comedy, if you will.
Okay.
But even so, I still always loved Adam Sandler's movies. I think it took me a little longer because as a 9-year-old, yeah, it was funny.
Of course.
I wasn't necessarily like, ooh.
Yeah, you're not picking up
I know what's going on here. It was when I was probably a teenager where I was like, oh, okay, this is funny. I get it.
The beauty of what you're saying, what Ash is saying, is that we shouldn't have been watching movies like this necessarily, but we watch these movies and then we watch them again later, a few years later, because you're going to get the VHS run or you're going to get the DVD run, and it challenges you to want to understand. This is what I like about movies back then. Like, I don't understand. I'm not an adult. We're not adults when this is on the VHS run or the DVD run, whatever it came out after the film run. I mean, the movie theater run. But it challenged, like, I want to understand what was funny about this, And that's the thing that I love about watching these films. How I remember back then is I remember it feeling raw. I remember Adam Sandler's movies being like kind of this raw comedy. I know Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey get kind of pinned against each other synonymously when we talk about comics, and especially in this era. But they both had different styles. Jim Carrey was more of a physical comedian, and it carried through his films. And I know we're going to do a Jim Carrey film here soon, but Adam Sandler, his was more of scripted, like it's what's written for him and how he reacts, maybe even improv. It's verbal funny with
character driven, maybe.
You say what?
Character driven. I feel like
it's definitely character. I mean, because he's did a lot of different characters. Just to name, like Ash was kind of talking about a few movies that came out. So his first movie, Babes Ahoy in '89, and then Shakes of Clown '91, Coneheads, Airheads '94. He got a few, but he really is a lead in '95. Billy Madison. I did not know this, but Happy Gilmore came out in '96. Mm-hmm. Happy Gilmore is one of them ones for me. Bulletproof in '96. The Wedding Singer in '98. Dirty Work in '98. Waterboy in '98, and then we get to Big Daddy. So we already at least got Waterboy, Wedding Singer, Happy Gilmore, and for some, Billy Madison. And Happy Gilmore is that one for me. And of course, we got stuff after the fact, but those are like the ones that are leading up. So he's had definitely momentum. So remembering it back now, I remember it just felt raw and felt like, whoa, what is this? Watching it now, it's just very interesting. It's so hard. We talk. We're the Childish Grownups show, so we can see things through the childish lens, being childlike. But then you see the grown-up side, and I'm just so much more sensitive with children now. And I'm not that. Again, I'm not calling myself the father of the year or nothing like that. But I'm so sensitive to it because I look at myself and the thoughts that I had internally. And going through these things and just watching this film this time, it made me really think about what is Julian feeling. And there's a particular scene that makes me think more about what is Julian feeling. at this moment because we get a tragic part of his story with the mother when we get to that part of the film. So it's a film that was fun back then, but it's fun now, but it's fun, but yet it's really a serious undertone. Not an overtone, but an undertone, if you're really paying attention. So, all right, so let's get into like an overall discussion about this. Ash, in your opinion, what made Adam Sandler so funny back then? I want to see if you can narrow it down why he was, because every comic, and particularly white comic, wasn't always funny to us because it didn't resonate to our cultural familiarity. But when you cross over, because there is crossover from each ethnicity to cross over to another ethnicity because of your cultural background, where it's universally funny. Adam Sandler crossed over to universally funny. And why do you think that is, in your opinion?
It's a great question. I feel like he has this sarcastic humor to him, like, and it's kind of like the way that he makes you, like the way that he looks at the people that he's playing with, like it's like you're dumb. It's like the way that he, it's the sarcasticness to him that I just find hilarious. Like it's almost, it's just like almost like he's not trying to be funny. Like this is how he feels.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, him just keep talking about how old girl worked at Hooters. Like, you know, hey, what's in the bag? You got chicken wings and a tassel or something said. But just like I don't know. It's like, and she's been past that, you know, 5 years. Like, bro,
she's a grad. She's in the field, bro.
The doctor, bro. But he's that one friend. I'm never gonna let you live down before you got to this status. But I don't know. It's just something I think the sarcasm for me, it that's what draws me into him. It's just like,
and that's good. No doubt. No doubt.
Hard to like narrow it, but yeah.
No, I think yeah, that makes sense. Very authentic sarcasm. It feels like. What say you, Meg G? What is it that makes Adam Sandler funny to you in comparison to others?
I think it's a combination of things. I think definitely his sarcasm. I feel like he doesn't take himself too seriously. He's kind of what you would call an everyman.
Okay.
He doesn't think he's like good looking, even if he's a love interest. It's not based off of his looks. It's based off of his personality and
charm. Yeah.
Yeah, he's, you know, the guy who doesn't try too hard, but he's just relatable. He can play a relatable character. And even if I think he shines in these types of roles where you can tell it's a lot of himself in the role. Mm-hmm. But even in something like The Water Boy, when he's playing like a completely ridiculous character, mm-hmm. or Little Nicky, when it's even more ridiculous, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still funny because he's just got this goofy quality that is like you're just, it's never to be taken with any type of seriousness. And he'll put a lesson in there, yeah. But it's always at his expense in a way. He's never afraid to be the butt of his own joke. He's got he's not afraid to be angry or flawed or misunderstood or, not necessarily the bad guy, but not necessarily, like, he has a likable quality, because even in this movie, he wasn't the most likable person, but of
course, yeah,
we were still rooting for him in a way. Mm-hmm. I don't know. He's got, because I don't even know, and don't get me wrong, because I'm not huge on like Adam Sandler's history, where I know Jim Carrey was like an actual comedian. He was a comic who did, comedy clubs. I don't know if Adam Sandler was like a comedian or if
I think he did do some stand-up. If that's what you're referring to, like.
Yeah, because I've never seen him or heard reference of his like stand-up, if that's what he was doing. And it's an acquired taste. Everybody doesn't like the slapstick comedy and the sarcasm sarcastic comedy that he does, but I think for our generation, it kind of translated because we were kind of, we're a sarcastic ass generation of people.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he did stand up. He used to come out with the hats way over the tip of his head. Yeah, he definitely did stand up on Letterman. So yeah, he comes from that background as well. For me, what makes Adam Sandler so funny, all the reasons y'all said, definitely the sarcasm, but it's the real reactions. There's a scene in there in this movie when he's dealing with Julian, and Julian wanted to watch the kangaroo film. And he's like, all right. Like, bro, I was rolling at work. I was like, oh my gosh. Cause like, bro, that is me 10 times back and forth, bro. When I say, all right, like his reactions, like when he gets angry about stuff or gets like whatever about it, like talking about his old balls, like his reactions is what, because they're so realistic. Even if he's trying to play straight man, it's so realistic, which ties into what y'all are saying of just being the everyday man, like Mia said and Ash said, like the sarcasm, so it's just, for me, it's his reactions feel realistic, even in a slapstick comedy. It feels realistic because you don't have to go that route. You could be very extreme in the slapstick comedy, but it feels weirdly enough like, oh, this really would be how somebody would react. And so for me, that's what always has made him, even a crazy movie like Zohan. Like that movie is so nuts. Oh crazy. Man, shout out to our big cousins, the Culture Garden, for doing I Spy. Zohan is Adam Sandler's I Spy. So all right, so my next question, whose style of comedy do y'all like more in films, Adam Sandler or Jim Carrey? We knew this was coming, so whoever wants to respond first.
I gotta go. I mean, I like them both, obviously. I'm gonna go Jim though. I do like I like the physicality of his comedy. The Mask is one of my favorite movies, and I think he just did his big one on that. And Liar Liar with the pen and the beating himself up,
my like ass. Do you mind?
Right, like I love it. So I gotta go Jim all day.
Mia.
That's tough because it's so different, and I feel like it depends on what kind of mood I'm in and what I'm looking to get out of it. But if I had to go off of the whole filmography, I'd have to go with Jim Carrey. One of my favorite, like, because The Mask, obviously, but even like more recently, like Yes Man. Have you ever seen Yes Man? Like there's just Jim Carrey is special, very special human being. The way he's a special talent, and not that Adam Sandler's not, but I think that the way Jim Carrey has crafted his personality and the way that he puts it's like a craft for him. He puts something, put a little extra sauce on it. And I think he's a little bit more versatile too. Now don't get me wrong, because Adam
he's been getting busy. Yeah, he's been getting busy.
Like if you've seen Uncut Gems, listen, he
Punch
can
Love, what is it? Punch Drunk Love or whatever.
Or Spanglish. Like he's got it, but I think there's something different about Jim Carrey. And maybe it's he's a little older, he's a little more seasoned, different.
Yeah. Jim Carrey, his start was on In Living Color, which there was no compromise. Yeah. For those of the listeners that happen to not be black, and everything's not a black or white thing, so don't get it twisted. We're here for the nostalgia. That's our race at this point. But in this moment, you benefit when you get the black approval because we're harder critics. That's just what it is. We are harder critics than anybody in there because unfortunately we're very judgmental. And so we're harder critics, and he got the approval from us early. I'm going Jim Carrey because he has by far way more quotables than Adam Sandler. And quotables would live rent free in your head. The first thing that comes to mind, righty then. Shaka Khan, Shaka, Chicago. Like Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. I can't believe y'all didn't mention
Nature Calls.
And Nature Calls, 1 and 2. Like, bro, when he was rolling around with dude on, he punched him, and he had him on his shoulders like, da, 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 do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Like, just to make a point, y'all are carrying around animals as fur on y'all. So how would you feel if I carry one of y'all on my shoulder, bruh?
Listen,
Jim Carrey, like, remember, even I'm about to get off of Jim Carrey, I promise, because we gotta get to the movie. But the Jim Carrey scene from Ace Ventura when he was with Sammy Davidson, and he gets shot with the arrow in the leg, and then he gets shot in the other. He's like, like, dude, like those not even words. It's just hilarious, bro. Mm-hmm. Oh my god! Like I can't wait till we do Ace Ventura. I don't know who gonna bring this up between that and The Mask. I cannot wait. But
when Nature Calls is one of my all-time.
Oh my gosh! Oh, bro, those movies are so funny. So I got to give it to Jim just from the simple fact he has so many quotables. Liar, liar, like Ash was saying. The color of this pen is like he couldn't even. He was trying to lie, he couldn't lie, and then he was even like looking at the girl's chest and. Mama, like
try to write the color and everything.
Yeah, like everything, bro. I'm kicking my ass. Do you mind? Like all of that. The claw. He's just got so much more memorable things. Not that Adam doesn't, but Adam it's a scene driven thing, not a quote driven thing. And quotes are the things that outlive everything, like great philosophers. All right. Another thing I want to bring up. How crazy is it that Jon Stewart is in this movie? And how good was he? And this is the same Jon Stewart that we know him from the Today Show that deals with the Daily Show that deals with politics. I don't watch the show because I don't listen to political conversation because it doesn't interest me, even though it should. But the fact that this is the same John in this as it is that, how crazy was that to y'all? Did y'all put that connection together?
Of course,
I noticed. Oh, go ahead, Nia. Yeah, I noticed. I was like, wow, that is crazy just to think of how far and in between that is. But are you want to know how he did, or are you just saying?
Yeah, just like I mean, just kind of like, what did you feel about the fact that like, oh, you had like a whole different like lane before you got to like this side, because he's very serious and very passionate on the political side. Like from the clips I've seen, like dude ain't hold no bars, no matter who it is. Like
I haven't seen too much footage of him on the political side, so I can't really speak to it too much. So
okay.
Well, I actually watched the Daily Show a lot when he was on there. I watched that when he was on there, and I watched when Trevor Noah was on there. I haven't watched him on there recently. I think they brought him back for a time. I don't know if he's still on there because I stopped watching it because, politics, man. But he's still really funny on the Daily Show. Like he was still super funny on there. I think it was supposed to be a comedic look at politics, but like serious conversations, but
yeah. Well, a funnier spin on it.
Yeah, with a little humor to keep you sane. But I don't think I know. Of course, when we first watched it, we don't know he's gonna be who he is. And I don't even know. I think it took me a while to put it together that was even him. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, he's so young.
Yeah.
But, I think he did great. I think that it doesn't shock me. I think this is more where he started, and he kind of fell into the Daily Show through, just generally being in that space as well. Like, I don't know. I think he was into some other sort of activism, and he did some other, because it aired on Comedy Central in the beginning, The Daily Show anyway. So he was doing comedy and then did political comedy. But no, I thought it was pretty cool. Even though, we don't even got to get into all that. Because, I got mixed feelings about some of his stuff. But
I mean, and that's why I don't really watch it, because again, we talked about the culture that we live in, where we're very critical. I thought it was I did not make that connection, because like you say, he looks so young. Now he got full head of white hair versus here. It's like, damn, has that been that long? You know how y'all see those memes on Instagram where they be like, this movie turned 30 years old or something like that. And like, it's crazy, because millennials were 30 years old right now. Like, it'd be like these fake, like, we're obviously not 30, or we're obviously not like it's funny because we're 22 right now. Like, you're not that age, but they be doing a funny meme about it. So seeing Jon Stewart in this movie was like, it was mind blowing, because there's something about this movie that, I mean, it came out in 99, so it's going into that. Now I'll harping on that forever when we talk 2000s movies, where they're going into this new age style of filming where it's more colorful, it's more vibrant. Because even I'll tie this even into music. I look at the R&B landscape, where when you start getting to the 2000s and you get like early 2000s records like a Joe, I Want to Know, you get, Rough Ends, you get 112, you start getting these new age style of production and sounds. I don't know why that's like something that just lives rent free in my mind, but I just noticed the transitions with film, like the look of it versus the next stage of it, and same thing with music, R&B particularly. So yeah, it was crazy to me. My last thing before we get into the moments, is Sonny a good parent, and what do you think of his parenting style, all things considered? Ash, I'll go to you first.
Was he a good parent?
All things considered.
I'd say so. I mean, of course, once we get into the the details, but overall, like, I think Julian felt a sense of love from Sonny, and I think when we talk about the foundation, just the starter kit, like, you want your, like, he trusted Sonny. Like, there was a sense of draw to him. Um, Again, I have a lot more I could say, but that will be when we, discuss said style. But man, it was cool. Good is a stretch to say good, but like, I think he
Decent.
yeah, decent for what the situation was. For him having zero experience, not even any of the friends having kids, seemed like, I mean, so.
Interesting.
And I did want to say one more thing. I'm sorry. I wanted to shout out Ben Stiller too, because I do like Ben. Like, I think Ben Stiller is a good comedic actor too. Like, Meet the Fockers and
Oh, okay, yeah. Ben
Along Came
Stiller.
Polly, Something About Mary. Like, my boy,
Oh, he
he got
was one
some
of them
things.
ones. Good point.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Ben Stiller.
with an iconic father who is also a comedic genius as
Yeah,
well.
Will Ferrell fans at all?
I mean, I mess with Will Ferrell stuff. Anchorman, and yeah, I got a lot. Sometimes it's hit or miss, but I do.
I could get with him. I just don't want him as the lead. Like, he can't. I can't follow him as the lead. But if he's the supporting, like, oh, okay, Will's in here too. Like, but like, I don't want him as lead. Just a sidebar. I don't like his type of humor.
Me neither. Yeah.
But anyway, what was you gonna say, Mia? So, how do you look at Sonny's parenting, with all things considered?
He was an awesome babysitter eventually,
Oh,
but nah. He was good in the interim. He had he was cool for a minute there. Um, he kept him alive. But
Whoa.
parent, we will discuss. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay. That's really interesting.
He's a good uncle.
Okay. All right. I Sonny was decent. He was on the verge of becoming a good parent. If we never get the back half before, you know, what do you call it? CPS? Is that what they call them? Before CPS pulls up, because he when he got that advice from the teacher to make that like okay, and he really was starting to get busy, like even coming through with Scuba Steve. Like okay, he was about to make that turn. Like okay, because it was not in his plan. So all things considered, I think he was decent. I wouldn't go as far as Unc. I go as far as stepdad. I think more in stepdad territory. If I were to go, like he's not really full fatherly, but I won't go as far as like you just Unc. Like I'm just giving you he. And the only reason I say that because if we don't get that back half, Mia, I would be with you. Like oh, he's just Unc. Put the newspaper down on this. Put the newspaper down on this. Give you some candy. Give you that. You know. But the fact that he started making those transitions, like, look, you got to bathe, you got to go to bed, you got to wear regular clothes. He started getting in that space, and that's the only reason I will go stepdad. But I'm with you. I'm very close to Unc, very close. But the only reason is because that back end before old boy steps in is like, hey, yo. So parenting style, I give him decent.
Well, he's inexperienced, you know
right?
What I mean?
And that's what all things considered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not getting him as newborn, like
and who was his dad?
Exactly. So
you know what I mean? Like you got to consider that. Like who was his father, and what was that about? So all things considered, I think he's decent for not really having anybody around to look at how to parent. Okay. So let's see what we got. We're getting into our moments based on our plots and relationships of characters. Mia, what do you got listed?
I have really a whole lot of Sunny. I have Sunny and Vanessa, Sunny and Julian, Sunny and Layla, and Sunny and everybody else. That's kind of how I have it listed.
Okay. Ash, what you got?
I have a few on this one. I got like Sunny's lazy lifestyle as a plot, Sunny becoming a dad, Sunny starting to change, Julian and Layla, and like Sunny as a individual.
I think all the stuff you said before about all of the Sunny stuff is all Sunny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We will piece it together. I got, I think I got 3 plots. Yeah, I got Sunny and his attorney buddies, Sunny and Julian, and Sunny and his relationships. Parentheses Vanessa and Layla. So Ash, you had kind of let's start where you are because you got Sunny's life, kind of like Sunny's lifestyle, Sunny's mentality, Sunny's character. So let's go with what you got. Kind of give us some of that, and we'll respond because we'll probably have some of the similar things about Sunny. So
okay. So this is what I didn't know when I first watched it. He had a law degree. Did y'all know that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I thought he did he finish?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he has his degree, so that blew me. I'm like, okay, so yeah, he has a law degree. He's living off a settlement from a minor accident from a cab, I guess, running over his foot. Mm-hmm. He works part-time at a toll booth, very, just avoiding any adult responsibility. He's just free flowing. Like I said, responsibility is low. I think he said he got 200,000 off the settlement, so he's just chilling off the money that he got. He seems to be content with where he is. He was a likable guy as far as like everybody seemed to like him. He's known around the neighborhood. He was.
You think everybody likes him?
Well, not. You know what I mean? Like, he was.
Are they familiar with him?
Yeah, familiar with them, known around the neighborhood. But he had a girlfriend who was more responsible and aspired to do more. And so that dynamic there was kind of like she pretty much was telling him, you gotta get your shit together, or, you gotta give me a reason to want to stay around. And so that's what kind of like was spiking him to try to do something to keep her. But overall, I just got like how lazy he was, and he just avoided responsibility. Like he just was content in his space that he was in. Like, and even though we know like this is not the right thing to do, I can't lie. Sonny made it look fun, like to just not have to do anything important. Like you literally just wake up and do whatever the hell you want to do. Like, he made it look so cool, bro.
Bro, I'm sorry, dog. I want to be Sonny in this moment. Those moments.
That's what I'm saying. Like he just made it look so cool. Like I'm working at a toll booth part time, 1 day a week.
Yeah, this is grocery money right now. Like this is just a quick little get some gas. Like,
so yeah, man, just his lazy lifestyle. What's important to him in the beginning?
What say you, Mia?
Ciao. Okay. Again, he's a likable character, even when he's unlikable. Mm-hmm. I think with watching it as when I was younger, I liked him more.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because it was like, why is that right on his back? And now as an adult, it's like, I'm with Corinne, like, yeah, Sonny, shut up. Because he was so out of order so many times. Mm-hmm. He was so out of order. But you see his father and you see the conversations he has with the people around him. It's like, Sonny, you got your law degree. Everybody else is a lawyer now. They've moved on and moved up, and you're still just okay with your 1 day a week at the toll booth. You here smashing cans in the grocery store to get a discount on canned goods and going off on the McDonald's workers and just he had a lot of issues, which I guess we'll get to it eventually. I don't know if we ever really saw him resolve those issues. We saw how he grew and how his arc went with Julian and that kind of teaching him responsibility in a way. But I don't know if we saw like any other areas of his life, like where he decided to improve until we do the fast forward at the very end of the movie. I guess I would have liked to see a little bit of like that time that he spent with Julian. Maybe he, I guess we'll get to it later, but it's just, he made it look cool when I was younger, but watching it now for this, it was like, oh my goodness, he is insufferable a little bit.
There's definitely things like when Julian comes into the picture, there's some insufferable moments. But before Julian gets in the scene, same. Like the craziest thing is like you look at it like, oh man, you got responsibility. What you just like? Nah, but like low key, like he's like a minimalist. Like I know people wouldn't say that, but like really when you look at it, like you're minimalist. Like, bro, I'm working. I got my 200 grand. He obviously is frugal, so he's managing that. He's stretching that 200. I mean, obviously that ain't gonna work for a relationship because you with a woman that wants more. And all due respect, like she ain't gotta get down to your level because you're okay with this. And I felt where she was coming from. But where he is, it's like, bro, he's living frugal. Like, look, I'm gonna stretch this 200 grand. If I gotta work 1 day a week to get this little change, get these tips, whatever you want to call it. I'm not mad at it, bro. That's the American dream on the low. Like, bro, I work 1 day a week. What you talking about? Like, people won't say it now, but now you look at it like, hey, that looks sweet. Because ain't no retirement, ain't no pension, ain't no Social Security, bro. And this time, y'all hearing this, none of that exists. It's not going to be there. So Sonny got the right idea in the 90s. Like, I'm working and I'm breaking cans. I'm getting my, hey, yo, give me that for the 50 cent. You know what I mean? I need that. Yo, go hook it up. Come on with that. Like, comp that. For real. Like, he got the right idea. And I'm looking at it now and I'm saying, like, yo, you know what? I ain't mad at dude. Like, I'm not mad at dude at all. So he's definitely lazy, but I do understand why a relationship wouldn't work. Like, that's not foreign to me at all. What else did you have, Ash? You had some more about Sonny.
Him becoming a dad, like the introduction of the drop off, pretty much.
Oh, with Julian. Okay. Should we talk about? I got him with his attorney buddies.
Yeah, I think we should talk about him and like his dynamic with his friends and the people around him.
Okay. You got something with that? You want to lead with that, Mia?
Sure. The scene that sticks out to me the most, rewatching it as an adult, is of course Kevin's going away party and how it wasn't his fault that they wasted the good surprise on him. I will not fault him for that. However, the proposal scene, you're not proposing, are you? Hey, my guy.
Hey, bro, that couldn't have been me. I would have shut that style so quick, bro.
You're not proposed. Well, just think about it, like not in front of everybody. Like, you ruined this woman.
Are you sure on the subject? Are you sure?
Like, that was so out of pocket. And you realize why, Corinne can't stand him. Like, she's got a very responsible boyfriend who she's been with forever. They're getting to the point where they're now about to start to build a life together. And his best friend is just like a lazy, kind of a jerk who is always coming at you about the fact that y'all met at Hooters, even though you're a doctor now. And he just will not let you live it. Like, their dynamic was so funny to me because I love the fact that even though you could tell he can't stand her, she can't stand him, she doesn't just let him get his shit off. She always has something to say. Like when he woke up and he's like, "Where's Kevin?" "Oh, he already left. I guess he didn't say goodbye to you." It was just like, I love their dynamic and how they played the enemies.
It paid off in the end.
Yeah. And then like him ending up with her sister was really funny. But even his other lawyer friends, this is another something that I have.
Oh, it's a separate.
Later to talk about, but this is a very 90s thing.
All right, yeah, I got that too.
The gay couple.
Oh yes,
was like the way they played it was just so 90s. I saw myself like, oh my god.
Which is funny for us to be hetero, to look at even us looking at it like, all right, come on.
Okay, we might
be, you know what I mean? Like, and even us being like, okay, that's not how we identify. However, we even can see the foolishness here. Like,
okay, this was definitely a sign of the times.
Absolutely.
But even so, even with that and the way that it was written, there was still a certain amount of they were still just part of the gang. Like, they were still his homies, even though they were, gay. Even the way that they played it, I don't even want to say that they were gay because it was so stupid. But yeah, I like the dynamic with him and his friend. And then the delivery driver, please, my goodness. I love Rob Schneider. I love Rob Schneider.
You haven't heard anything else about Rob Schneider, have you?
Wait a minute. Is he problematic? Okay, we'll talk about
it. Keep going. Don't worry. I'll give you the review.
I'll say this. I love a lot of Rob Schneider movies.
I did too as well.
The Hot Chick. I like Deuce Bigalow. That was my, like, Deuce Bigalow. Male Gigolo and European Gigolo were super funny to me. I love those.
Shallow Hal?
Shallow Hal was not Rob Schneider. That was Jack Black.
No. They all look alike, though. I'm just a little racist humor for y'all. Anyway,
But
sorry.
no, like in this era, I'll say, barring anything that he may have done since, because I don't know, they'll have to fill me in. But I loved him in this era of his career, in in the 90s, early 2000s. That's all I got though for that.
Okay, Ash, what you got for Sonny and his friends?
I like the dynamic. Like I said, I'm always a fan of when there's a group of friends in a movie or a show. Like I think it's so dope. I don't have that many friends. I have a few, maybe like 3 or 4. So, and it's not like we all hang out together. It's like these are my individual friends. But it's nice when you can have a group of friends that you all know each other and like maybe went to college together or something like that. So I love friend groups, genuine friend groups. I think it's dope. I think all of them had forward movement except Sonny, but they didn't really press him on it, even though again, like you said, I mean, dude, you have the degree, like let's get it cracking. But like it's kind of like they let each other be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing to give your opinion and try to like motivate your friends, but at the end of the day, a person's gonna do what they want to do. So I just love how they let each other be who they are. Yeah, man, corporate friends, man. Like y'all got high stress jobs and y'all still know how to like let your hair down and just be able to kick it, grab you a beer or whatever. And then Sonny and Corinne, yeah, it was just the way he turned around. It was the turnaround on the proposal. I'm proposing, are you? Like, yo, he was so like
That was just ridiculous,
it
bro.
was the turnaround. Like, why don't you want him to marry this woman? Like, it's insane. Is it because of fear of losing your friend, or you just because she worked at Hooters, man? Like, it's a job. Like, you work at a toll booth, my nigga. Like,
Yeah, relax, dude.
yeah, like, what are you bringing to the table to
What
Vanessa?
Big Boobies McGee? What did he call her?
All kind of names, man. That sound like it. I think so.
He was wilding, bro. Like, you're not gonna be getting this off a decade after the fact.
Like, bro, I'm a whole doctor. What are we talking
yeah,
about
like,
right now?
hey, you a bum. You a bum. Like, you're not gonna get this off on me. If I'm a doctor and you're a bum living off your 200 grand or whatever you got left from getting your foot ran over by a taxi cab, you're a bum. Don't talk to me, dog.
Yeah,
Hooters
you
my
can't.
ass. For real.
But, but yeah. So
But
that's
yeah.
that's what I had.
But yeah, Rob Schneider, he had like an offensive joke a few years ago. Y'all look
Mm.
it up. I know Coach Gardner spoke a little bit about him being a piece of dirt. But
Oh, and
yeah, but set aside that in nostalgia purposes, I enjoy Rob Schneider too. I thought he was funny as well, and I enjoy some of his films as well. This getting it twisted with the other film that I was talking about, but again, like the surprise, I talked about the surprise, and we also see that he isn't liked very much, from his friend's fiance, and he's stuck in the past. Kevin's fiance used to work at Hooters, like I've said. He had the accident, we talked about that. We also find out that Kevin has a child and he didn't know about, but Sonny decides to take care of him, which obviously this is Julian. His friends tell him this is not a good idea to try to adopt because he's clearly impulsive, which is a trait of Sonny's. And then lastly, for me, as far as that section goes, the gay friends. I don't know what to make of this bit. It's the 90s, literally, really we can call it 2000 because it's 99, Y2K, whatever. But the nuance wasn't there. But again, people wasn't properly gauging it. And it's crazy because there's a later movie where Adam Sandler and Kevin James?
I think that's his name, Kevin.
And they do like the Chuck and Larry film.
Now I do love that movie though.
That movie is funny though, bro. It's just a funny thing, like full circle. But
It was handled much better that time.
It was handled much better, but for
Still,
those that
but handled better.
Handled better. But in this film, like it's the '90s, y'all get it. I don't think that people that necessarily identify that way, even with your woke brain, will look at it like, oh my God, oh, I'm gonna grab my chest, oh, this is crazy. I don't think it's ridiculous. It's just now we have these eyes in the year that we're in where we're looking like, they could have did it a little differently. But for what it was for the time, I do think they handled it fairly well, I would say. Like how we were once friends and then all of a sudden our friends were not friends, So I only got 2 more sections. I got Sonny's relationships. Do y'all got anything outside of that as far as Sonny's relationships, Vanessa and Layla, and then obviously Julian? Y'all had some stuff outside of that?
Mm-mm.
All right, let's get into Sonny, Vanessa, and Layla. Ash, what you got? What you want to talk about?
I don't have too much about Vanessa because I mean we didn't get a lot of time with her. It was kind of short lived. But the fact that she went to go with this old man is nuts. He's like, get there knocking on the door, like, oh man, I thought you were like banging my girl. I am. Like that was crazy. I mean, I know you want somebody established, but come on, Vanessa, bro.
That's
Like,
crazy.
we talking grandfathered in. Okay, like
Facts.
there is a wide range of men that you could have selected before we got to the you know what I'm saying, the retirement fund.
Yeah.
But,
so I don't know how I just don't know how like certain women get there. Like how do you
he was a bad looking old guy, like you know what I'm saying?
He wasn't, but
she was such a pretty girl. Y'all know it's a younger, more established.
It happens, but I don't know how you get there where you can cover a multitude of.
That was nuts.
Yeah, I don't know how you get there. Like, how can you just overlook so much? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so that was bonkers to me. So get her out of there. But Layla, I like Layla. It kind of it's crazy to me that he didn't know, like he hadn't met her before, seeing as though it seemed like Kevin and Corinne had been together for a while. So I'm just surprised that the sister hadn't came around at some type of gathering at some point. But because it was like he hadn't met her, right? She was like, oh, I was at the party.
It did seem like maybe they had been seen each other in passing, but he didn't know who she was.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I like Layla. She was very open-minded. So I like that Sonny got a bad rap for good reason. I mean, he was lazy, irresponsible, impulsive, all the things, but she still was willing to rock with him. I like that because you have to be able to just, I don't know. Sonny made it hard because you'd be like, oh, the character of him, but like, bro, you really had some
he got some traits,
bad traits, bro. So it's hard to ignore that. But even still, like she was still like just willing to hang out with him, not even necessarily take it to that next level. It just happened to get there. But I like Layla. She seemed just very sweet and grounded and open minded. So I do like their dynamic. And sometimes this is a track. Like, you do have these corporate people, like you're in the corporate, but then you have someone who does something like completely different work wise, whatever. And it's like sometimes 2 lawyers can't be together or 2 doctors. Like sometimes you need that separation, and it just works, that balance. But so yeah.
What you got to say about Vanessa and Layla and Sonny? Yeah.
Well, I feel like obviously because of his character and him being the main character, Vanessa kind of has to be the bad guy, even though she was completely justified. She was not wrong in the way she felt. And I think she did what she had to do. I don't know why she if you're gonna be messing with a 70-year-old, at least know what he does for work. Because how did you end up where you ended up back at Hooters? When you messing with this old man? Like, what are you doing? But enough about her. Now, Layla, I really did like. Layla was so sweet. She had like that just very warm, cheery disposition about her. She was always smiling. I do feel like maybe it's just me, but I felt like, again, with one of those things that I was thinking about when I was talking about how seeing him with Julian, I would have liked to see him making an effort to grow up a little bit more in other areas and not just fatherhood. I feel like it may have been, Layla would have been a better character to me if she was pushing him to grow up a little bit more, maybe in a gentler way than Vanessa, but still like, hey, you know, you're capable of being a lawyer. But, they gave her this, oh, I think it's cool you only work 1 day a week, blah, 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 even though I'm working, you know, 12, 15-hour days. Yeah, it's great that you just work once.
I'm gonna make her my sugar mama. That's what he said in the
Like,
court documents.
if you don't get the
boy, if you don't,
no, real, like exactly that. It made her character a little weaker to me because it's like, yeah, it's cute that she does all that and she's accepting him, but no, you got to challenge this man to get his life together. I'm glad for where they ended up at the end. He did get it together eventually. What?
Like, I'm working hella hours.
He was a real black time.
7 days a week.
He was a real black time, bro. Black.
CP out here, boy. I tell you.
I will make her my sugar mama. That was a crazy line, dude.
Part time, man.
Yeah. We didn't agree to this. We didn't talk about this. He said it with full confidence. You got the right to remain. Like, bro, he said it in full confidence. Like,
don't worry about me not making any money. I'm in love with the beautiful woman who makes plenty of it.
Who? Be my sugar mama. Like, I can't believe he said this.
What you talk about?
Bro, we haven't even. I don't know your credentials yet. We haven't had that type of experience.
You just put yourself and this kid
on. Boy, you better be able to. You better lock in, brother. For real, because it's like you're like putting me in a position. I'm sugar mama. Oh yeah. All right. What are you? I'm just saying.
Sugar baby. Look.
But no, that's all I really had. It's like Layla was a wonderful character. I love the progression. Like after the fact, that time jump gives it a little grace because he does end up getting it together, and then you see that they're together, they have a baby. But yeah, I think he just they made her character a little bit too accepting.
Things that I got, just a few things when we talk about Vanessa and Layla. So Vanessa, she wants him to grow up, and he's pretty much a bum living off his court settlement of $200,000. He decided to keep Julian around so he could appear responsible to Vanessa, but she had other plans, sleeping with the colonel from KFC with his wrinkly skin and his old balls. He uses Julian to pull Layla in the park, and she comes over, and their chemistry was nice, especially when they put Julian to bed telling the story and flirting at the same time. I like that. That was a little sexy. I was like, I like when I love a good build on intimacy in films, romance, subtlety. I love a good build. And I thought this is not that type of film. It's more of a funny film, comedic. But I love when they're doing something like this. It could be a rom-com, so to speak. And I love when they build slowly towards like this flirtation thing, but we not there yet. And so them doing the whole story, and then, okay, she gonna kiss Scuba Steve, the doll or whatever. Like, I thought that was dope, because it came back later. And a little sidebar, Layla's voice, bro, how 90s is this? that sensual, chill, raspy voice. Like, bro, how many times did we see this voice? I feel like I forgot there was a character in Liar Liar that had this raspy voice.
Jennifer Tilly.
Bruh, there's a
She's
voice in.
iconic for that voice.
You say what?
She's iconic for that voice. Her voice is.
Is she the one that plays the Bride of Chucky's voice?
Yeah.
Okay, that's exactly. So there's this sensual, seductive, raspy voice that we really seen. We don't see that much now, but like in the '90s, that was a thing. So the fact that Layla had that voice, it was just like a little sidebar. And lastly, as far as this situation goes, there's a disturbing scene. It's very disturbing. So when they're on a date, Sonny and Layla, they're on a date, and the fat Italian guy and his goobar are eating a major glizzy. Bro, with no hands, both ends.
Dude.
My goodness. What are we doing? I know it's the 90s, so it's different, but like they were getting to it, bro. Both ends of the sausage is.
He should be ashamed of himself because what are you doing, sir?
Bro, he felt great about it.
Oh my goodness. Did you hear? I don't even want to.
It's such a shortcut, but I'm like, yo, bro, have some dignity. Why? Yeah. This is not a noodle from spaghetti, bro. This is not. Oh,
they are on both ends of the sausage.
Sausage is crazy.
I watched this with Tyler. You know his reaction, like, no, he's out of pocket, bro. Like, I mean, the noises, you're insane.
Bro, the chew, I don't want to hear you chew. Turn this off. Turn this TV off. Turn this TV off. Please.
Boy, got the side jaw action. It's crazy.
Get into it with confidence, like we're doing things later. Like, I cannot feel respected as a man after this. I don't know. Oh, man, I'm sorry. That is just, this scene is so disturbing when I watched it.
It was terrible.
Yeah. Anything else y'all want to get into? I got Sonny and Julian. Any other plots y'all want to get into before we get there?
No, let's get into the meat and taters.
Meat and taters. All right, Ash, what you want to get into as far as Julian and Sonny?
Interesting dynamic. Like I said, Sonny had no experience in raising a kid or anything, and so he was raising them like unconventional. Like I think he thought it was gonna be fun like forever. He didn't realize like as a parent you have to be responsible. Like the way that you've been living on your own with the irresponsibility and just just doing whatever, you can't do that with a kid. And so you're teaching him all terrible things, of course, peeing on buildings. I mean, you letting him wear whatever he wants to go out. Bruh. Just very unconventional, just doing whatever. You know, he's I let him become the smelly kid. Like when he went to school and it's just like, yeah, have you given him a bath? You know, like he eating all kind of junk food. Like again, no, you just letting him just live how you're living, right? And this is a kid where he's going to soon become an adult, so you have to have a level of responsibility. And I mean, obviously, we know his dynamic with his dad, Sonny. You know, like wasn't the greatest, but like he was wilding. But Julian, he warmed up to Sonny quickly. I feel like he was pretty emotionally smart. Like I feel like he could sense when Sonny was like upset or if he was serious. I would say Julian was brave. Again, he didn't really know what was going on. Like he said, the last thing his mom said to him was, "I love you always," or something like that. He was just a regular kid, you know, trying to adapt to his environment. So it's like he just really didn't have any guidance. And at that time, Sonny was all he had, you know, temporarily. So as the kid, you're only gonna do what the parent allows you to do. You know what I mean? So it's just like you can't blame Julian to a certain extent, but So yeah, that dynamic, like I said, looked like a fun relationship. It was, a fun relationship, but very like immature, and there were some key components that Sonny was missing in raising Julian, obviously. But yeah, so
Okay. What say you, Mia?
I agree. I think the whole thing was crazy from the jump. Like, um, when they bring this child, this adorable little boy, to the door, and what would even in your mind possess you to tell these people on the phone that you're Kevin Garrity? Like, what is going on? Like, you got to be a special kind of ridiculous to think that you can just pretend to be this kid's father and that they're just going to let you keep him. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Sonny he was so detached from reality.
His whole purpose for doing it was crazy anyway, because like,
To get your girl back,
bruh,
you gonna take a child and
low
think,
key,
yeah,
low key, like an orphan at this point.
like what? You don't even know if Kevin's his real father. This kid can have a father out there somewhere. You just decided you just want to keep him. Like what? But even so, I think, of course, we see that Sonny's relationship with his father is what drives him. His dad is super successful, probably pushed him a lot to do more, and he was resentful of it, And he's like, I'm gonna let my kid do whatever he wants. I'm never gonna tell you what to do.
Good
Stuff
pull. Good pull.
along the way, but I'm not gonna tell you what to do because my dad, you know, tried to dictate what I did. So in turn, he's, like Ash said, letting him do whatever, eat unhealthy, not bathing, not, doing any of his schoolwork. He's teaching him to trip rollerbladers in the park, letting him eat ketchup and
That's crazy.
beat on the delivery guy. Like, and of course, after his conversation with the teacher, he's like, okay, we got to shape up. And he made a good effort, a good concerted effort. But at the end of the day, I feel like his motivations were still super selfish because now it goes from proving it to Vanessa, but to proving it to your father and proving it to everybody else that you can be a good father, but you're not necessarily thinking of the best interests of Julian. Because again, we didn't see him make an effort to do anything other than teach Julian. Like, you didn't think you needed to, oh, I have a kid now, I need to get a better job. I have a kid now, maybe I should teach, I shouldn't be teaching him to bust cans at the grocery store. He has eczema, he's scratching it, and I don't know anything about it. Do I need to take him to a doctor? Has he had a checkup? Like, just like those sorts of things. Even this is movie magic, but the child services people calling and just taking his word for it was crazy. Like, he ain't got to come down and sign no paperwork. He ain't got to come show his ID or nothing. Y'all just believe that he's Kevin Garrity and you're just gonna leave this baby here with.
Great point.
But I do love, however, the bond that he formed with Julian as a friend, which is why I said he was a great babysitter, a great uncle, because they did have a bond, and you could tell that he really loved Julian. He cared about him. He wanted to do what was best for him, but it was selfish because he was going off of the way he felt and not what was best for Julian. Because what would have happened when Kevin did come home? Now you want to be his father, but his father comes home. You don't know if he wants to be his father. It just was like, Sonny, you're being a little ridiculous, but it makes for a good little tug at the heartstrings.
Yeah.
And then if you want to talk about after Mo, if you want to talk about the court case separately, we could talk
Yeah,
about.
we could talk about that separately because I think that's a great land. That's a great point to land the plane. I think it deserves its own recognition. Um, yeah, I covered mostly everything. Of course, we see one of the signature shots, and for those that are watching this on YouTube, you'll obviously see this as our YouTube skin. When y'all see the signature shot with us reviewing this movie of them two obviously peeing on the restaurant door. So that's the great shot. I don't know what the conversation was like in those rooms to say let's pick a movie poster, but I'm glad they did because it fits the aesthetic. Um, there's a scene in this with Julian and Sonny, and he's so focused on getting Julian to McDonald's to get the breakfast at 10:30, and bro, they missed breakfast. But not only was it funny, but the feeling of knowing you missed it when you had your mindset on it, bro. That's deep, dude. Like this is 99. I'm like, bro, it resonated then and now. I'm like, bro, when you realize like even the homeless man was like, what, they moved it to 11? You know what I mean? Like I thought it was 10:30. You know what I mean? And so, like, bro, missing breakfast when you had your mindset on it, it's deep, and that resonated today. I love when those little adages on films that still resonate in the year that we're in. Uh, when Sonny feeds Julian a bunch of junk food and he naps afterwards, and he wants to watch. Eventually, he looks up and he wants to watch the Kangaroo song on the VHS tape, and starts fussing about it. And I've alluded to this earlier. He's like, "All right, bruh." That's me. Like I am that parent. I can't say that enough. There's a full circle moment. Uh, Sonny, well, I guess that ties into like the court scene. So I'll leave that there. But I'll just say lastly, as far as the Sonny and Julian relationship, when CPS comes to get Julian for the final time and they grab Julian and he's having a hard time, and I'm currently watching Nip Tuck. For those, I never watched the show. You watched the whole show, Ash?
Yeah.
Mia?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I've seen episodes, but I've not seen them.
It's worth the watch. They handle it really well. Ash knows, so Ash already know what's up. So there's some stuff with dealing with like this is my child, but then my child gets taken away. I'll leave that as vague as I can. And so watching that where I am in real time watching Nip Tuck, and then watching this is like damn. And so the kid Julian gets pulled away, and he's like, "But I know how to." What did he say? I know how to wipe my own ass. Is that? And it was like it's not the same as Harriet the Spy running with the cab. Like that was I spoke about that at length on the last episode, but it still was emotional enough. I was like, dang, like this kid don't understand. He's just doing what he got to do to be able to like. I just trying to find home. My mom passed. Actually, I don't even know if Julian knows his mom passed. His mom's just sent him this way, and so it was a subtle emotional moment. Wasn't a head lean back moment, but it was definitely a subtle a moment. So let's get into the court scene as we land this plane. So the court scene, just to lay out, CPS wants to go against Sonny. What's his last name, Mia? Kovacs. Kovacs. Because he pretended to be his buddy's, he under his buddy's alias, and now they want to go against him, not only to take the kid, but actually get him to do time because of fraudulent behavior. That's the layout of it all. Ash, what do you want to say about this court scene? Anything in your notes that you want to speak to? Because this is definitely like the kind of ties into the moral of the story of this film.
Y'all can probably lead it. I didn't have it in my notes.
Okay.
So I can touch on it at the end. Y'all can read it.
Okay, me and G.
The only thing that I have about the court case is first you see Sonny and his lawyer friends, and then Layla shows up to also child, Lord have mercy, Layla skipped her big case to come help him with his case, and his crazy cast of characters being his character witnesses. But most importantly, I think we have, of course, Julian's testimony, but the testimony of Lenny Koufax, Sonny's father, when he comes in and he's like, what makes you think that you can be a father? You can't even take care of yourself. And Sonny is going on about how, Dad, you don't have to worry about me anymore. You don't have to worry about me taking care of him. You don't have to worry about me making money because the whole sugar mama thing. But basically, I think Sonny believed that love was enough to take care of Julian. And it was a sweet concept, but I think gladly the movie went in the right direction. Like, all that is well and good. However, you did defraud the state by pretending to be this child's father. And, you can't do that. Like, you're really unfit. You don't even, like, you love him. Y'all have a good time, but you're unfit. You can't be his father. And luckily, Kevin
can't sit with us.
Luckily, Kevin comes in right on time to claim custody of his son, which again, Sonny, how you just gonna try to take your friend's baby? He hasn't even met him yet. But I thought it was touching. It was a very Adam Sandler scene. It was I feel like Adam Sandler in all of his movies has a scene like this, that ending scene where all of the characters kind of have their little monologue moment, and there's like that big finish of emotional climax. I feel like every movie of his that I can think of has
you might be right. Like
I can name a few like right now off the top of my head.
Definitely think Click comes to mind.
Click, The Water Boy.
Yeah.
Grownups.
I say Happy Gilmore.
I feel like that's part of his formula.
His formula, yeah.
But at the end, I think it was the part that I liked the most was right after the court case where Julian gets to meet Kevin and he's sitting on the bench with Kevin. And that's the moment where Kevin kind of gets to know his son and sees the things that Sonny was seeing the whole time, where he hurt himself and Julian starts laughing. And then now you see him opening up and you see that it's going to work out. And it all does work out as we see at the end.
For me, full circle, Sonny's dad wasn't good to him, or at least this is his interpretation, but he tells him don't be scared, and it was a beautiful thing how he converted his father, being the child and converting your parents' mind. Amazing. This is a comedic movie, but it's such an amazing moment. Converting your mom or your dad's mindset in that moment, empathizing where they're coming from, and then being able to bring them to your world and help them to understand to the point that they convert their mind. He said, you know what? His father played a whole different tune, and that was amazing. Then we find out that Julian, I ain't got that's a little bit of that, but we get to Scuba Steve and all that stuff. But everybody, this is a classic trope in the 90s, early 2000s, where everybody wants to call their dad all of a sudden because they felt the emotional movement from Sonny and his father, Mr. Koufax or whatever. And it was a beautiful scene. And then we get, obviously the last scene where they're at the park and they were going back and forth about the loop and swoop versus the bunny ears. I had actually, this is something I wanted to bring in our overall discussion, so I gotta ask y'all real quick before we get out of here. What do y'all prefer, the loop and swoop or the bunny ears?
I'm a loop and swoop girl myself.
I'm a loop and swoop as well. And I think I remember learning how to tie my shoe like based on this movie, like that loop and swoop. Yeah.
I'm a bunny ears. I thought the loop. I always thought the loop and swoop would look better, but I could never get it off. But the bunny ears I've been consistent with. So to this day, even with our youngest, I'm hitting with the bunny ears, hitting with the Bugs Bunny for sure.
Like my hands are too jammed together, like too much. It's too much.
No, you.
Hey, it's not as crazy as I think it is. I got bigger hands than both of y'all, and I still get it off. That's what, like I get it off no problem. Like
I mean, I can get it off. It's just too much
the loop,
touching
the
on my
loop and
hand.
swoop. Like I remember you even showing us. Like remember when our brother Ash couldn't tie his shoes? Remember that? And like I don't remember how he finally figured it out, but me and you both showed him our technique, and we didn't have the same technique. I think even then I had the bunny ears, you had the loop and swoop. And I don't remember what he went through. I think he went with the loop and swoop.
I don't remember, man.
I definitely think he went bunny ears. Like bunny ears is really rare. Like I don't know too many people do the bunny ears, but
Anthony
yeah.
does the bunny ears.
See, that's why it's my dude, man. See,
Yeah.
yeah. See, he got the lefty, but that's the right side right there. You feel me? All right, that's my guy. Any final thoughts that y'all want to add to the movie before we get into our last categories? Me and G.
No.
Ash.
No, just to touch on the court scene a bit, I agree with Mia. It landed where it needed to land. Like all that was nice, and everybody got got it off, and he had hella counsel on his side. Like everybody just, I mean, it was the judge was pissed the entire time. Like she was so hot, like her face
Yeah,
was
relax.
cracking me up. She was like, "Mr. Koufax," like she was just angry. Like she was not going for none of the shit, but in the end, yeah, no, you can't just get custody of like, come on, bro. It's
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
it's
So
fraudulent. You're fraud.
yeah,
You're a fraud.
yeah, you're a
Fraud.
fraud. But yeah, that's
He's a
it.
phony. Um, yeah, all the things y'all said. My last thoughts of the movie. It's a fun movie, straight through. Hour and a half. This is a straight through. I love straight through films. This movie don't hesitate. We get 15 minutes in, and I feel like we're getting introduced to Julian. We're not spending a ton of time, but we get the gist of him with his college buddies and all of the dynamics of all the relationships. I don't feel like it was any wasted time in this film. So I love a movie straight through. It's heartfelt, funny. It's all the things that you need in the year of '99. So that's my kind of closing thoughts within the movie Big Daddy. All right. So, Ash Bash, character you
Yes,
relate
sir.
to or identify with the most?
I was struggling. I'm like, dang, I don't know really, but I landed with Layla because she believed in second chances, and I just again, she was a weaker character, like Mia said, but just in the aspect of her open mindedness and the faith that she had in Sonny. So I think that relates to me. Like I'm very open minded and I do try to believe in the best of people.
Mm,
So yeah.
beautiful. Me G.
This is gonna surprise you, but I actually went with Sunny
Mm,
because I can also be very impulsive. I'm I'm not typically an impulsive person. I usually think things through for a long time before I make a decision. But there are moments that I can be impulsive and I can be a little irresponsible sometimes too.
that's
But
real. That's real.
uh, yeah, so I just related. So I'm like, I give him a hard time because I see some things. I get it. Not to that extent, but yeah, I've had my especially a younger me before kids and real responsibilities. I was very, very irresponsible. Yeah.
We are on the same page, Mia. Sunny as well for me. How new parenting was at a point. It wasn't to this extreme, but I'm sure there were moments looking back at it that was wild. um, the love and the genuineness was there, and that drove a lot of the decisions with Julian for Sonny. They drove a lot of decisions with me with my children. Even more like my oldest child, like more so than the youngest one, because we're still in real time. But like, so I can see that, like, not because there's no book for this. Like, nobody could tell you how to do it because characteristics and traits are different based on all these different things. So Sonny for me as well. Ash, a character that can get the stepping, character you could have done without in this film.
I got two. I think the one, and I mean, one is the homeless guy. Yeah, he was. I mean, he had a little mini bit in there, but I don't think it was necessary. He didn't have to be in there. And then the friend that couldn't get used to his now gay friends kissing, like he didn't really add anything to it. So like,
good point.
they could have just left him out, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say those two.
That's a good point. That second one was like, yeah, that's spot on. Me and G.
Yeah, I actually had that second one that Ash said. His name was Mike. I was like, I could do without Mike because he didn't add anything other than making faces every time his friends did any type of couple, stuff, or anytime they had, child, I don't even, anyway. But again, I think it's just it's the Adam Sandler thing. He got to find some kind of way to fit all of his friends in his movie.
Because dude, wasn't he in Happy Gilmore?
I'm pretty sure all
I feel like that dude was like the.
He was in something. Yeah,
I feel like he was like
the. He was in the Water Boy. He was in a couple.
Oh, maybe it was Water Boy. That was probably. I think it was Water Boy.
He was one of the football players, and the other one who played the gay friend, he was a football player in the Water Boy.
There's a YouTube video about this too, like Adam Sandler and how he blew his friends up.
And he always has a cameo for his wife. His wife had a little cameo in this too.
Come on now.
She was the waitress that called Julian the cutie.
Come on, dog. For the first time, I don't have anyone. I think that they utilized every character in the right amount where they felt essential to the movie. Even the ex-girlfriend, the callback at the end. So even when I totally see where I come from when we talk about the guy that just kept making faces because the gay homies that they went to college with were once not open with that, and all of a sudden now the guys that we used to kick it with now, they love each other or whatever, and they're going further. But even then, I think it helped for a comedic movie. But this movie, they didn't. Every character they created felt essential to the movie. Even the old man, even the homeless man, even the delivery man. Everybody felt perfect for because they didn't spend too much time on it. And I really don't hardly ever feel that way. But this movie, they actually did that. I'm like, okay, this feels right for the screen time they gave them. So for me, I actually don't have anybody in this scene. I don't have a favorite song of the movie because it's not really a musical. Nobody else does. Mia G, things you would change about the movie or what you think they didn't get right.
Well, we've been hinting at it a bit throughout the movie, but I do think that tone of the gay friends was kind of homophobic. And it was a sign of the times. But not only was it kind of homophobic, it just didn't land for me. It was kind of like dry, and maybe was the point that they didn't sell it to me. You could tell that they were just great guys who were playing this role of now we're gay and we're together. And it was very clunky and a little awkward. And every time it happened, I was cringing a little bit like, oh goodness, I wish they would just not.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Because again, I don't think it was handled necessarily. There's another movie that did it way better later on. I don't know if you guys have seen Neighbors, or it was actually Neighbors 2 with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron, where
I don't think so.
Like him and his wife had a house, and then the fraternity was living next door, and then they did the sequel, which was actually what did it better, where the college friend ended up being gay in the next movie. And it was like they handled it so much better. But I think what made it homophobic was like they commented on men, like just the way they looked at other men, or the way they commented about each other's bodies or men. It just made it like really weird and awkward. And I was like, I just wish they would have left that out.
Yeah, I agree.
And then again, I wish that Sonny would have had more growth as a person outside of parenthood during his journey with Julian. I wish he would have taught him more about responsibility other than just like how to take care of a kid.
It was pretty flat. I definitely agree with you. It was like, they didn't really. Yeah, it was pretty flat. That's a good point, Mia. Ash.
I agree, because I think at the end, like him being married and actually being a lawyer, like if we would have got to see the progression, it's like, oh, okay, I can see, this happening for him. But it's just like we didn't see the progression, and now at the end, he's like, oh, I got a big case, I can't stay long. You're married, you got a kid, all that. But the only thing I had, I mean, I accept the movie for what it is. It's Adam Sandler, so you know kind of what you're getting. But who enrolled Julian in school? That's what I got. Like, bro, when did this happen? You're not Kevin Garrity. You didn't even get any paperwork from CPS. Like,
he ain't showed nobody no ID the whole time.
like, how is my boy in school? Like, there was nothing.
That's a great point.
But that's it.
For me, I got one thing. Rob Schneider character being a different ethnicity. Huh?
Did he have contacts in his eyes?
I think those are his eyes, but I feel like he had a spray tan.
It was looking weird.
Yeah, he may have been a little darker because he was supposed to be playing like Arab, maybe Middle Eastern.
Yeah, and like he's clearly a white guy.
He's white and I think Filipino. Yeah, his mom is Filipino. His dad is Jewish.
Okay. Filipino, I did not see that coming. But yeah, being like a totally different race, I get it's slap comedy, so but like now in the times that we are in, it's like ridiculous. Like Robert Downey Jr. played a black dude.
But that
was funny. It was funny though, bro. And maybe we'll get to there. Like at some point, I want to do a round of bad movies. Shout out to School's Guilty Pleasures. There's a round I want to do of bad movies where I want us just like, yo, I know this is a bad movie, but I just really enjoy this movie. So, but for me, it's just Rob Schneider playing a different ethnicity. Yeah, it's just like, it's funny, but looking at it this time is different. Ash, what's the moral story in your opinion?
Mine is simple. I said responsibility can bring purpose and fulfillment, and sometimes the thing you least expect can help you become who you're meant to be. Yeah, man.
What say you, Mia?
Like it.
Okay. Mine was just no one can force you to grow. I feel like Sonny's father pushed and pushed and pushed him. Vanessa pushed and pushed and pushed him. But until he found his own reasons and his own motivations to grow, it didn't happen. People can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself. It
That's
has
a fact.
Something that you want when you want it, and when you're ready, you will grow into your purpose. But before then, nobody can push you to do it until you're ready.
There's nothing wrong with maturing. For me, moral of the story. I know this is a childish grown-up show, but don't be afraid to mature. Sonny was trying to keep things like they used to be, and that just wasn't where things were anymore. And this kid comes into his life, and it forces him to have to mature, even if it's on a small scale. Embrace that. He told his ex, Vanessa, "You're making a big mistake and will regret this." And a year and a half later, and a year and a half later, she wanted maturing in her pace, but we obviously see how that played out. And his father wanted him to go to law school, but eventually, in his own time, he eventually, got into the field that he needed to get into because of what he already accomplished. So there's nothing wrong with maturing. You can still tap into your childish side, but you got to embrace maturing, because when you embrace maturing, you embrace the reality in the time and the age and the present that you're in. So nothing wrong with maturing. And that is our episode, man. Truly, we got through it again. This was Ash's pick, Big Daddy. And now we'll get into our latest pick before we get out of here. I always lay this out. We do not have conversations prior to the episode. So my co-hosts don't have no idea. It is now my pick. And my pick is a pick that I intended to do at one point of time, but did not get the chance to do it. But now the time has come. So without further ado, I'm going to pick a film that's leaning into the childish side because I've been inspired. It's a film that came out in 1992. And the film is Three Ninjas.
Oh.
Not only is this a film that we were going to do at some point in time, but now we're doing this film, and now we're going to have a special guest, one of our big cousins, Big Rich Town from Childish Grownups. Just a little inside information. We were going to do this around the time when we did Malibu's Most Wanted. Mm-hmm. And we decided to change it because Rick hit me up, and he was so passionate and wanted to do this movie so bad that I was like, all right, bro, he loved it so much. I was like, you know what? I appreciate his passion so much. We'll do a different movie. And that's how we did the movie that we did, because Mia was out for that week. And me and Ash decided to do Malibu's Most Wanted. But now the time has presented itself. Mia said, you've never seen this movie before.
You know what? When we talked about it last time, I didn't think I had seen it, but then I realized I had seen it before. But I've only seen it once, and I was already.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect, because now it's new eyes, new everything, and so it's definitely a martial arts film, but in the childish sense of things. So our next episode will be 1992's film Three Ninjas. Y'all go check that out right now, and we will have our special guest, Big Rich Town, and eventually we're gonna have Ray P on. I can't wait to see what she will be interested in doing. So this was a little insider to do this, and I'm excited to talk about this film. I think we're gonna have so much fun with it. An action film for our age group when we were young. So, man, we thank y'all for tuning in. Truly, it's been a wonderful episode of talking about Big Daddy. Y'all go check it out if you haven't. Don't listen to our review without going back and checking it out so that y'all can be caught up. Man, we got to get in. The street lights is coming on. We're kicking it as a crew, but we got to leave home base. We got to leave the little green electrical box because it's now time to get back to the crib. So thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Hit us up, childishgrownups3@gmail.com or Instagram as well. Peace out.